Hello, Internet, and welcome to... I'm sorry, Val started nodding very aggressively, and it really distracted me. Hello, Internet. Yeah.
It was a happy nod that everything worked.
Hello. We're here for a new episode of Thursday's Children here on GameKnights. I am your host and your game master and your very easily distracted friend, Savvy. We're here to play Vaesen, and it's going to be a lot of fun today. I don't think we have any scheduling announcements. You can check out our streaming schedule if you're live with us on Twitch down below our faces on our drop page. You can also check it out pinned to our Twitter. It's also pinned to our Discord if you are with us sometime in the future on YouTube. But check out our schedule. Our next live stream after this will be Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time for a new episode of Tabletop Tuesdays. As of the last time I talked to the Tabletop Tuesdays people, they have no idea what they're going to be doing. So I have no idea what they're going to be doing. But they're going to be playing something at 8 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday. And it's going to be really fun because it's a good group of friends who are doing a great job. And then our regularly scheduled games after that. Elliot Magics on Thursday, Neon Souls on Friday, Saturday Night Star Power on Saturday, and then we'll be back around for more of this on Sunday. The only other thing I'll plug right now is our merch store, because we have one. Go ahead and check it out. Link is there in the chat. We've got some new merch that I just put up this past couple of weeks. It's a Gubba Bump Shrimp Company t-shirt / tank top / mug. Our wonderful Neon Souls property. So you can check that out. You can also get stuff that says "Buy Flying Ready to Die," which is probably the best slogan anyone's ever come up with in their life. Thank you, Morgan. You can get stuff with our logo on it and all kinds of fun stuff in there. So check out store. I'm gonna let my fine friends around me introduce themselves and tell you who they are. Bless you. And
I was dabbing. What?
It was so loud. It scared me. I'm gonna let everyone introduce themselves and tell you who they are and who they're playing today. Starting with Sid.
If I unmute myself, hey, pro streamer. Hi, I'm Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at Greek Sid. Usually talking about all the fun stuff that I'm doing around here and on other parts of the internet. I am here basically Thursday through Sundays and Star Power Saturdays. Elegant Magic's coming up on Thursday. I run that. I think we're about to leave the time loop. Or I don't know, maybe we'll go another full entire time of just like Bernie farting around. I don't know, we'll see. But come check that out. Either way will be entertaining.
That was so much
shade. At 9 o'clock Eastern on Thursday. We're not doing that right now. Right now, we are playing Vaesen, and I am playing Tilda, the writer.
That was so much shade.
In the best possible way. Dude, I just had lunch with him yesterday. I gave him a lot of shit. Don't worry about it.
Perfect. I think I'm next, and I'm Morgan, also known as Imaginatrix on the internet. I'm mainly a cosplayer, so if you're interested in cosplay and costumes, you can check me out on Instagram and Twitter and all of those fun places. I'm here on Fridays for Neon Souls, which is a lot of fun, and Sundays today. So today for Vaesen, I'm playing Alina Yarvinen, and she is an occultist.
Hello, everybody. I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. Tonight, I am playing Villiblom. She is a servant. I do a lot of stuff on the internet. Just check my Twitter.
That was so professional. I wasn't expecting it. Hello, everyone. I am Val at the Crichton's Crown on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me here Thursdays through Sundays. Like Savannah, I run a couple of games that I'll go and promote. I have a game on Fridays called Neon Souls, which I think has been mentioned now, where I run this crew through a Cypher system cyberpunk game. We're getting building up to an epic finale for this season, so come join us for that. On Saturdays, I run alternating games of Saturday Night's Mistborn, which we had a session of last night, and Saturday Night's Star Power. We're playing Fate, and in kind of a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure inspired setting, and it's a ton of fun. And come join us for that next Saturday. But today, I will be playing Dr. Danni Madsen, who is the Doctor.
I like how funny you think that is.
I think I'm hilarious.
Yeah, we know. Lukewarm reaction from the crowd.
Right now. Oh my god, we're so shady right now. Ugh.
Yeah.
Thing is,
It's
I'm
gonna be
really
one of
used
those
to it. From
days.
Savannah, I don't even like register it most of the times. It's very dark in this house with all the shade.
That's accurate. That's accurate. I'm shady as fuck. All right. And I'm not going to stop. Y'all ready to play a game?
Yes,
Let's do it. Last time on, is this the right recap? I'm already really off in my notes. It is. Last time on Thursday's Children, the society came face to face with a new Vaesen, a mermaid living out past the small island known as the Deep Reef. They questioned her about her son, Zacharias, and their methods of magically providing herring for the archipelago, human sacrifice. After asking a few more personal questions, the group returned to Wrecker Isle to prepare for dinner with the Herring Baron. While Danni and Tilda played piano and talked, Villy corrected Tilda's latest sewing project and brought tea around for the group. Alina, alone in her room for a while, reached out to an old friend, a voice whose origin she's not entirely sure of. They contemplated alternatives to the mermaid's sacrifices together, settling on powerful feelings like love, and wondering if they could be channeled in the same way. Finally, the group left the inn and made their way to the Amundsen estate. After some pleasant conversation and much snooping, dinner was served. While Abella and the two brothers Pete and Pace were in attendance along with Zacharias, their third brother Paul was not, much to the surprise of Tilda, who remembered meeting him several times before on his shipping routes. Alina, realizing something was off and using her occultist powers, discovered there was someone being kept in the cellar. Billy was able to sneak down and pull Paul out of an empty barrel where he was being held hostage, presumably by his family. He escaped through the kitchen, and Villy returned to the dining room just in time to smell smoke. As flames licked up the side of the building, Danni spotted a wild-looking Oscar, the priest who had brought them here in the first place, outside the window, waving a gun. And that is where we're going to pick back up, as the house you are standing in currently is on fire. Feel like this music's not going to work for the building being on fire. What would you like to do?
All right, I think it's time for everyone to evacuate.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
We should go speak with the priest. Danny's getting up and grabbing their bags and getting ready to leave.
Tilda stands up furiously and just storms out the front door.
Okay. Tilda, you storm out, you go, you grab the front door and push on it. It does not open.
Is there a problem with the front door?
It won't open.
Do you want I should try, maybe?
That would be lovely. Is there a nearby window? I'd like to grab something heavy off of the table and break a window, please.
Villiblom's like,
GGK, no doors, only windows.
No doors, only windows.
From the
Right.
light.
She just broke your light by slamming.
I knocked it out of its power outlet.
I've angered Sid quite a bit.
Angry.
I'm also gonna try to kick down the door.
Okay. I'm gonna have Tilda and Villy. I think this is force, probably.
Sure. I gain +2 when fighting unarmed.
Yeah, I mean, you said you were just gonna kick it down, so sure.
Yeah.
Fight that door.
2 successes.
Okay.
And I'm also doing force, trying to break the window.
Yes.
Can I get an extra dice for like using something heavy?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Why not?
Thank you.
What are rules?
What are rules?
I don't care. This isn't D&D. I don't care.
One. 0 successes.
This
All
went about
right.
how I thought it was going to. So, simultaneously, Villy, you run for the front door as Tilda turns away from it. Tilda picking up a heavy oil lamp off of a table nearby and swinging it into the window. You can't quite get enough force behind it, and a couple of like hairline fractures form in the glass, but mostly the lamp sort of bounces off and jolts you a little bit, shaking in your hands. Villy, you run for the front door, sort of rear back and kick at it near the handle. It takes 1 or 2 tries, but eventually you hear a cracking sound, and the wood around the handle and the door frame sort of cracks, and the door pushes out just a little bit, enough for you to be able to see outside.
Is there something blocking the way?
If it seems like it, yeah.
Okay. Is it something that where I can continue to shove and push it open?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
It'll take you a minute, but you can put your weight against the door and,
Mhm.
and shove it
I
open.
would like to do that, please.
Okay. You sort of throw your shoulder against the door and start to push, and you hear sort of a scraping on the wood porch outside as you push the door open enough for you to be able to get through it.
There we are now. Let's, shall we?
Right, I guess that was simple.
Yes, please. And Danny is going to like charge out of the house, not running, but briskly walking straight towards the armed priest. Because Danny is angry right now, and is going to walk straight up to the priest and attempt to punch them in the face.
Okay, great. So you follow
You stole
Villy.
what I was gonna do, damn it, Val.
Well, I'm angry.
Should have broken the window better.
Amazing.
You storm out, Danny, following Villy out as the family is coming in close behind you, also attempting to get out of their burning building. You see a couple of servants sort of making their way through back towards the dining room with buckets, like they're going to attempt to put the flames out. And you stride across the beach towards Oscar, who pulls up the pistol that is in his hand that was sort of hanging at his side and points it in your direction.
You're going to shoot me, Father.
You stay back.
Danny's
can
continuing to walk forward.
Okay.
And is saying, "You're the one who asked us to come here. You set the building on fire Well, we are currently investigating and attempt to murder us, and now you're going to shoot me.
You're having dinner with that monster.
Are you an idiot?
Can I have you roll manipulation?
Sure. I'm equally as good at this as I would have been at punching. No,
As you
I'm
walk
one die
towards him?
better. Yes. I don't have anything that will help here. So yeah, I'm just rolling my 3 dice.
Can I help by walking up behind them with the candlestick that I attempted to use to break the window?
Sure.
Alright.
That's very threatening. That's
Do I get
2
a
extra
vote?
dice.
2 extra dice? Well,
Can I
right,
do
'cause I'm
something?
angry, so I lose a die.
Can I do striking fear?
Yeah, what does that do?
You can strike fear with fear 1. It counts as a slow action, does not work against Vason. I choose a victim in my zone. Targeted NPCs must pass a logic or empathy test. Their roll gains bonus dice equal to the number of friendly individuals in the same zone.
Okay, so he's got a roll. Gotta find him. Where is his empathy? Okay, he's got 4. And there are no friendly people in the zone, I would say,
Yeah.
for old Oscar. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that is 1 success for him. So with all of this happening, and the group of you sort of surrounding him, I think he does panic a little bit. Alina, what does it look like when you do this?
I think there's like almost like a dark aura around her, and she just stares at him and like tilts her head to the side and smiles.
Okay. And smiles as this dark aura sort of surrounds Alina, and she tilts her head to the side and smiles, trying to strike fear into the heart of the priest. Let's see, succeeds, so he's not frightened. So he panics. The 3 of you are surrounding him, and he's already afraid of monsters. And Alina, if anything, to him right now, you look like a demon. Danni, as the gun was pointed towards you, you see his vision shift off of you onto Alina, and just fear cross his face. And he moves his hand to the side, and a gunshot goes off. Alina,
Yes.
I'm gonna have you roll to be able to get out of the way.
Okay.
See this happening. Let's do agility.
That's 2 dice. 0 successes.
Can I use my success, my extra success, to move her out of the way? And putting myself in harm's way is fine.
Yes.
Extra success. Do you have one from this session?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled 2.
She rolled 2. You all hear the gunshot go off and the muzzle flash as the priest pulls the trigger. Alina, you sort of freeze in place, and then you suddenly feel an impact, but it is not a bullet. It is Villy shoving you out of the way. Villy, you feel this horrible pain sort of in your side and your shoulder as the bullet strikes you. You're going to take the wounded condition.
Okay.
As the priest starts to back up down the beach.
I pull my gun and aim it straight at him.
The man is scared. Let him go. That was Rin, not the right character at all.
Hello, this is
Who is
Rin.
that?
Why have you shot
this
me?
is Rin. Why did you shoot me? It's been Rin the whole time.
Oh, we need that crossover. That'd be great.
Chat has redeemed an extra dice, +1 for Villy on your next roll.
Oh, thanks.
Yay.
Thank you, chat.
If-
As the priest, as you yell this out, is backing up a little bit more, sort of hands shaking, holding the gun, backing up down the beach.
Is there any way, if Tilda's drawing the gun and his attention is on, I would assume, Tilda and Alina, is there any way that Danny could sneak up behind him?
You were just directly in front of him.
Yeah, I don't know, because you said he turned. So
Yeah, I
enough
did
where
say he turned, huh?
not necessarily like is sneaking, like he might know Danny is there, but enough to like close the distance. Because I had this idea before, and I think I'm gonna pivot. Takes out a syringe from his medical bag and gives him a small enough dose of morphine to at least incapacitate him.
A morphine idea. Go ahead and roll stealth.
Okay.
I don't have to make this decision. The dice can do it.
I'm good at this.
Good.
Checking if there's anything I can do here.
The magnifying glass does not help you. Just like get that
No?
one out there.
What about my liquor?
Offer him a drink, stick him in
My
the
map
neck. There you
book, I
go.
navigate the best way to get behind him. No, I'll just roll.
I'm over here trying to be dramatic.
One success.
I don't know why I tried to do that. All right, one success. So yeah, you as he is sort of locked on to Alina and then Tilda, who pulls a gun out, he is sort of turned to turned enough to where you can sort of go around and beside him. You take the syringe sort of very quickly, jab him with it and inject him with a small amount of morphine. I don't know how long it takes for morphine to work.
Roll fast.
I feel like it's very fast, right? Okay.
Definitely,
So how
yes.
much morphine do you give him? Well, it's fun if it's only fun if it
I'm
happens
not a
immediately.
doctor. Why would I? 10 cc's.
You play one on
I don't
TV?
know.
I mean, like, what do you want to happen to him?
I want him to, not enough to kill him, but enough to either daze him or maybe to the point of passing him out, depending on what his tolerance is. Danny would probably be edging on being safe, not wanting to kill him, but
He's a
enough
priest.
enough that he
probably not
wouldn't
very
be able
high.
to walk.
Okay. Yeah, so you stick him with the syringe, the morphine in it, and he kind of grabs up, not realizing you were there, as it is nighttime, so it's dark outside, even though the moon is pretty full overhead. He grabs sort of at his wouldn't that be a twist? He grabs his neck where you have jabbed him, and then sort of stumbles to the side a little bit as the morphine takes effect. The gun falls out of his hand, and he sort of falls to his knees and then just kind of goes over sideways into the sand, sort of barely conscious.
I'm gonna snatch out that gun.
Okay.
Keep mine trained on him. Get it away from him.
Alina's gonna be freaking out over Villy.
Villy takes off her maid outfit and wraps her shoulder, Is it the same arm or the other arm that I cut?
Which arm did you cut?
My left. Because I was holding the knife. Is it my punching arm?
It's the left arm. It's the same one.
Okay. Yeah, I will wrap it underneath my armpit to sort of cut off the bleeding as much as I can.
You shouldn't have done that.
I'm all right. The doctor will get me fixed up. No problems.
Danny looking up and noticing the rest of the situation says, "Are you feeling faint? Have you bound it sufficiently?"
Well, never been shot in the shoulder before. I did take a knife there once, but I think I've cut off the bleeding as much as I can.
We'll need surgery as soon as possible to remove the bullet. Is there any chance that the family is distracted enough by the fire that they haven't noticed all this?
Oh, they've noticed
Oh, okay. I just
all of
figured I'd
this.
ask.
You see, well, one of them is definitely noticed. You see Godmother Bella and the two brothers who have made their way outside, sort of directing a few of the small staff to get the fire put out. But you also see in the moonlight a big mountainous mustachioed silhouette storming towards you. Still in his dinner jacket, and you hear Zacharias sort of wide-eyed. What is the meaning of this? What, in the name of all that is holy, is going on in my house?
Technically
Why do you
speaking,
have a
sir,
gun?
I'm in
It
the
seems
country.
that someone has set fire to your home.
Yes, my dear, I noticed.
Well, they have been sedated, and we will be taking them to the proper authorities.
Who is that?
It appears to be a priest.
Wild West Tilda over here.
It appears to be a priest. I can't with you guys today. He sort of looks at you, looks past you, and you hear him kind of like muttering and like cursing under his breath, and he starts to walk past you to try to get to Oscar.
Nope.
And
He's
what is the
fine.
meaning of this?
Frankly, sir, there have been some rumors about of people disappearing. I have no intention of this man disappearing before he is brought to justice. So we shall do so.
Oh, he'll be brought to justice.
Not your kind of justice, sir.
Have you roll manipulation. I'm gonna say extra dice for the guns.
From the guns? Which ones? No, I'm done. I'm done. My dice are probably now cursed because I did that. There we go.
I have a way that Danny might be able to assist. I don't know if I need to do it before or after she
Fucking
rolls.
06. What is happening?
You can do it after. I don't.
Okay.
8 dice.
Because I
Three
think
ones. Really?
8.
You didn't roll anything above a 3.
No.
Yeah. Danny?
I think Danny would assist here and say, I believe this man is suffering from a severe bout of mania, perhaps some form of psychosis. I have sedated him, but I will be taking him into my care for a thorough diagnosis. Clearly, his actions are not that of a sane man.
Tilda, you can roll 2 more dice.
Ugh. No. Can I push?
Yeah.
I'm gonna push. Okay. Oh, come One success, and I am angry now.
Angry. All right. So as he walks closer, and sees the anger on your face and the guns in your hands, and sort of hears Danny's explanation from off to the side, kind of behind you, where Oscar is, and he gets very very close to you, and sort of stops at the last second. Fine. Where will you take him?
Into the city, where there are proper authorities.
Yes.
As long as he doesn't return to this archipelago, I don't care, frankly.
We arrange transport to the city in the morning.
And the doctor will take charge of him until that time.
Yes.
So you'll be leaving us then?
Perhaps for a time.
Perhaps you ought to make it a long one.
Sorry, have we done something wrong?
You've brought an incredible amount of chaos to my home in a very short time. I don't enjoy it. I don't appreciate it. And if this is the sort of thing that's going to happen to my family for having dinner with you, I want you gone.
But surely we had nothing to do with this. We were locked inside just as you.
Who invited you here?
You did.
No,
You.
I've done no
here-
such thing.
We came here on our own volition as part of my research. And I see it no crime or grievance towards you for my doing so.
You lie.
My sir, I would never. I'm just kidding.
Yes,
Yeah,
you would. You lie to my face. In front of my home, no less. I invited you here under good faith. And you lie. And you bring with you danger. Who brought you here?
Well, I believe the danger that was already here. People going missing, people dying. We did not bring that with us.
Fine. Keep your secrets. Get out. Do not return.
May I have some assistance with this party, please? Looking towards the
Of
others.
course. Keep at least a gun trained. Slide mine back into my secret pocket. Keep the priests trained. And help the doctor shoulder Oscar.
Oh, and I'll have my things back.
Excuse me?
Your things.
One of you has stolen something from me, and I don't appreciate it.
Give him back the candlestick. I intended to use it on the window.
He snatches it
apologies.
from you. Woman, I ought to beat you over the head with this. Hands
I'd
it
like
off
to see you
a
try.
servant. Take it. Now give back what you've taken.
I don't know what you're talking about. We've taken nothing but the food that you've provided.
But that's not entirely true. Alina reaches into her bag and pulls out the perfume bottle carefully. I wasn't going to take it for long. I just needed to test something.
That was a gift from my mother.
I know.
I'd like it back.
You can have it. But if there were another way to keep the town flourishing without having to hurt others, wouldn't you take it?
You all know so little and say so much. I hurt no one. Neither does my family. We provide for them. We took this place, this town, this chain, and we made it something great. The people here were starving, sick, dying. They had no food, no clean water, nowhere to live. And I provided that for them. All your meddling is going to do is take that away.
Don't believe there could be a better way to achieve the same things.
Without the loss of human life.
Or the fear.
Do the people who live here seem afraid to you? Do they seem joyous? Happy? You've seen them. You've been to the inn. You've been on our ships. Been in our towns. Do these people fear anything?
Yes. They do.
According to your priest?
According to what we've seen. They fear you.
They love me.
Love brought on by the fear of death is not love. It's coercion.
Better life. I give my family everything.
Would you? Would you give them everything? Or do you expect others to do that for them?
I would.
Where did you say your third brother was again?
Paul is gone.
On how?
He's being dealt with.
A nice way to
Caused
treat your
us,
family.
He betrayed us. Caused us some very serious problems these past few weeks. And so he's dealt with.
What did he do?
He killed that vicar.
Why?
The vicar pulled a gun on him.
For what purpose?
I'm not going to stand here on my own front lawn and justify myself to you.
So to us, now, or we'll come back with the authorities.
And tell them what?
That you just confessed to knowing about a murder and doing nothing about it.
Also trying to kill your brother.
Do you think that by the time you return with your authorities, there will be anything for them to find?
Well, that's assuming we don't have everything we need already.
Do what you must. You look at me as if you expect me to be afraid.
No, I look at you with contempt. Powerful men like you are all the same, no matter how they accrue it. You not only do it with fear and wielding your power like a cudgel, you do it with supernatural assistance. Frankly, you're the worst kind.
You would begrudge a mother providing for her son.
No. I would begrudge a son taking advantage of that for his own gains.
Well, Miss Granbury, regardless of your contempt and how you look at me, I am still the man in power.
For now. Look upon me, Mr. Amundsen. Do I look afraid?
No.
Exactly.
You look reckless.
Some might see it that way.
Leave. Before I have you shot.
Badly.
Do you leave?
Keep an eye on him as we go.
Well, I went backwards the whole time with the
Yeah.
well, the priest's gun, I suppose.
Okay. The fire mostly put out at this point by the staff and the brothers. Godmother Abella sort of walks up beside Zacharias, her shotgun in hand, and watches you as you go, taking the mostly unconscious Oscar with you.
I don't believe it would be a smart idea to return to the inn tonight, given its proprietor.
Well, we must in some way. There's someone waiting for us there.
Who?
What?
Oh, Alina told me that the brother was being held in the basement, so I freed him and told him to go to the inn.
Well, we should retrieve him as soon as possible before his mother learns where he is.
Right.
Get the bloody hell out of here.
Right.
Do you think perhaps what's his name? Our other Thursday child friend.
The old fisherman?
Yes.
Orvar.
Orvar, there we go. Do you
we-
think perhaps Orvar is around this evening for a drink and might take us back?
Do you want to leave?
I feel like at the very least we might need to regroup. And I don't think we have the luxury of doing so at the end any further, as the doctor has stated.
I
Can
fear
I-
if we leave. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I use a new talent that I picked up
Ooh.
called Erudite? Where I can pass a learning test to establish truths about places and phenomenon in the game. So I can know if it's certain.
Oh,
locations.
yes, I love this one.
Yes.
Do it.
Okay.
Establish
do
a
I need
truth.
do you want me to tell you what I'm thinking first, or roll and then see if I'm successful?
Let's roll first.
Okay. All right. So make a learning
Wait,
test.
before you do that, can I bless you?
Sure.
Okay, because then you get a +2 to a test of your choice. So if you want to add it to this one, you can.
I think that would be beneficial. I mean, I don't know how important this is going to be. Do I only get the bless once?
For the mystery.
Okay. Sure. I'll use it here. This might help us.
And Tilda still has it too.
Boy, I rolled 9 dice and got 1 success. It's a lot of
Y'all
ones.
are rolling crazy amounts of ones today. 1 success is enough.
Okay.
Let's establish
so
something.
I was thinking in order to give us a safe place to sort of hide out where the others might not know, that maybe this island, maybe in their research, Danny learned that this island used to be used in like a smuggler's run or something. And there's some like secret like dugouts like in the island where we might be able to hide, where the smugglers used to keep their cash and stores here.
Okay. On Wrecker Isle itself?
Yes, so we won't have to leave the island.
Okay. That, it actually makes a lot of sense because the place it used to be run by wreckers. So some of them could have been smugglers. Makes perfect sense to me. So
like
let's say
a secret hold somewhere that maybe Danny stumbled upon.
Yeah, we'll say you found that when you were out wandering around talking to fish that one night.
Perfect.
So yeah, you're gonna go back and retrieve your things from the inn, I assume.
Quickly.
And Danny, you can lead everyone to the other side of the small sort of stone island, and near the water, actually right on the beach, sort of underneath an outcropping where you actually have to like walk into the surf a bit to get around to it. There is a like a cave that has been since abandoned in the last few decades, but inside is sort of what remains of an old smuggler's den. So it's not great. It's a little damp, but it's back far enough that you'll be out of the water and relatively safe.
We grab Paul, right?
I assume so, yes.
Yes, yeah, okay.
So yes, I believe this should give us enough shelter for the evening. I don't believe anyone else would have record of this being here.
It's a good find, Doctor.
Yes, I should tend to your shoulder.
If you don't mind.
Somebody please watch the father, make sure he continues to breathe.
Sure.
Please advise me if that ceases.
I shall tell you if he stops breathing.
Yes.
Right.
And while I assume others who might be having a conversation with Paul, Danny will work on Billy.
Okay. Just go ahead and roll medicine for me.
Okay. Hold on. Use medicine. I've got a couple things for medicine, so I just want to double check. Alright, none of those apply here. But I will use my doctor's bag with medical equipment, which gives me a +2 bonus.
Okay.
I assume that applies here?
Yeah.
That's 6 successes.
There they are.
There they are.
How did that?
All right.
I rolled almost all 6s on 9 dice.
There they are. They've been hiding.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you this.
God.
Holy shit.
That's wild.
Is this an extraordinary action?
This is an extraordinary action. I'll give you this. You can stop the bleeding for good, deal with the wound, Villy will still have the condition, but it's not going to get any worse over time, essentially like a stabilizing thing. And you can bank those successes, or you can spend all of them, and I'll let you be able to get the bullet out and have her wounded condition go away.
That's really challenging.
I know.
Having 5 bank successes would essentially mean no one would need to fail for the rest of the game today. Or...
I'll tell you what, if you can spend 4 of them, and I'll let you keep 2.
I'll take that. Because also having five bank successes also feels like an ungodly amount of power to have for the rest of this game.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
So it's a much cleaner shot than you anticipated.
Yeah, I forgot I had studied gunshot wounds too, so I should have 2 more dice. But that's
fine. You want to roll them?
No, it's okay. No, I can't use it on medicine anyway because I used medicine in the last time.
That's right. Yeah. Those are only for investigation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the other ones. Okay, so Villy, go ahead and remove your condition.
Thanks, Doctor.
Yeah, it's a much cleaner wound than you anticipated, and you can sort of using one of the lanterns, you're able to actually, it's shallower than you thought. So while it bled a lot, it's not actually that bad or that threatening to her arm or anything. So you're able to sort of finagle the bullet out pretty easily, sort of stitch it up and wrap it. Villy, it's sore, but there won't be any like lasting damage or anything like that, which means no critical injuries for you.
Maybe because it was clean enough, Danny was experimenting a little bit in, rather than just suturing it up, had read in a journal article that maybe applying a bit of like sterile adhesive to the wound to help bind it closed to keep it from bleeding, is able to do that as well and prevent it from reopening.
Oh, that's almost like new.
Yes, I'm very happy that worked. Let me know if you experience any side effects from that.
I will. Thank you very much for your help.
So, should we speak with this Paul then?
Oh yeah. Just jumped on it because I know Paul. And Paul knows me.
He does. Yeah, so I think Paul, a little taken aback by the entire situation, finally realizes what's going on, and Tilda kind of looks at you. Tilda.
Yes, Paul. Did not expect.
What
to
the
see
fuck?
You. I did not expect to see you under these circumstances, but I'm glad you're alive.
As am I, thanks to your friend.
Yeah, Billy is good in a pinch. What in the bloody hell is going on?
So that's a long story.
Oh, I'm fairly certain we have time this evening.
Well, what do you know?
Your adopted brother is actually half mermaid. There's been several human sacrifices in order to keep the area flourishing. And apparently you shot a father, at least according to your brother.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I said this to Villy earlier, but maybe it's not going to be as long of a story as I originally anticipated. You know all that?
It's taken a couple of days, but yes. You know I'm very good at my job. Just add the rest of these folk in, and yes, we get things done rather quickly.
Apparently so. Hi, I'm Paul, by the way. I mean, you know my family just by looking at my face. So
You never told me you were a triplet.
it's not as exciting as it sounds.
Is it true that you murdered the vicar?
It was self-defense. Sort of. He pulled a gun on me. I'm just quicker.
Clergymen in this town normally have guns.
No. Definitely should have searched him beforehand because he had a couple.
That might be one of the longer parts of the story that you might wish to elaborate on.
Right. So you know what the family's doing by now, I assume?
Yes.
The vicar, he found out. Figured it out. Came back to stop it, I suppose. Zach wasn't having any of that. So we cornered him. Took him hostage. Took him out to the reef. Let Zach's mum deal with him. Tied us over till the full moon. Except he was hiding another gun I didn't know about. And when you got a gun in your face, you react. So I shot him. That's not any good. Because the people you take to the Sea Queen gotta be alive. He died out there on the rocks and we pushed him into the water. She wasn't happy. Zach wasn't happy. And you make Zach unhappy. Well, you spend 2 weeks shoved in a herring barrel. So they didn't need to find another sacrifice for the full moon. That was going to be me. So yeah, I shot the priest.
Well, there's no one to verify your side of the story, but given the circumstances, it's best explanation for the events here. Though you're not completely vindicated in your actions, considering your complicity with the events of what your family has done.
Don't I know it? Listen, I don't feel good about it, and I'm not going to sit here and defend it. But when you got people like that breathing down your neck, what would you do?
Can you tell us about your brother? Is there any way to reason with him?
I don't know. He's never been unreasonable, Zach. He was a good kid. Regardless of what you think of him, what he's done, he's not a bad man. At his core, he thinks he's helping.
but at what cost?
I know.
I
He
believe
really
the-
does think he's doing the best thing for everybody.
I believe the ministry has a saying on good intentions. It seems applicable here.
Right.
Regardless, we have to stop what's happening. Your brother makes a convincing argument for the sake of the people of this town, but sacrificing one for the good of the many doesn't sit well with me.
So what are you gonna do? Or what are we gonna do, I guess?
I don't know. This is all outside of my area of understanding. I believe there had been some talk on trying to find a different way to accomplish feeding this town.
Alina, why did you take that bottle, the perfume?
Mhm. Well-
what were you going to do with it?
I was going to try and convince them to use another way.
And you need that bottle to do it?
Not necessarily, it just had powerful feelings around it, you know? The mermaid loves her son very much, and he cares for her as well. Something that she gifted to him, I thought, might be the key to discovering a different sort of ritual that they might use.
So what is it you need then? Just a feeling?
I think so.
Well, could you use mine?
Well, I'm assuming you love your family very much, correct?
Done a lot for him because of it. Could you use that?
I think so. I was hoping that the mermaid might use her feelings since she already has so much power, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, but we can try.
Like an example?
Yeah. Um. Hmm. When they take a sacrifice, they kill someone, is there any sort of chant or anything else that they do, or is it just murdering someone upon the rocks?
No, they have to be alive when they go in the water. She, well, there's a song.
That
She
might be
sings,
helpful.
you know. And the sound it sort of makes you, well, I guess do what she wants. Makes you want to go with her.
So she makes you drown yourself.
Oh, when you put it like that, it does sound really terrible. She makes you want to go live in her kingdom. So you go.
But seeing as you do not have gills,
Yeah, you don't last very long.
I see. Alina, if you heard the song, or Or could make one of your own.
I imagine hearing it might make me want to drown myself, so
Right. Yes, that.
Yeah. Let's avoid that.
Right.
Well, the song just is part of making them drown themselves. It doesn't necessarily bring about the outcome of more herring, correct?
Right, yeah.
That
And it
part.
fuels
Go
her
ahead.
power, which was what brings the herring. The
I think
sacrifice.
so. That's my understanding anyway. She sort of takes their energy for her and then uses that to call the fish.
Do you know, does she need this energy to call the fish, or is she just using it just as payment?
Zach says she needs it. That
What do you believe?
I don't know. I'm not an expert by any means. I can barely read, so
If
this is all
we
kind of lost on me.
If we accept the premise that she has the ability to call the herring to feed the town, perhaps she is also the one keeping them at bay when she is not offered these sacrifices. So the removal of her might solve the problem as well.
Well, they weren't here before she was here. How long has she been here?
I don't know.
Given my understanding of Vaesen from the libraries, they could live a very long time on occasion. It's possible she's always been here.
Perhaps the area simply isn't fruitful. Perhaps she is doing as she said, calling them here.
I mean, even if she is, you can't let her do it.
If she doesn't do it, the people who live here, I mean, they'll starve again.
Perhaps your brother, with all of his wealth, can take them somewhere else. Somewhere it's not necessary for them to die to live.
Even he doesn't have that much money. Do you know how expensive it is to move? Especially when you've been established somewhere your entire life.
I understand. But you can't believe that killing people's the right option.
Even if you gave him the option, some of the people who live here, they won't go.
Is there ocean near? We're in like a cave by the water, right? Is there water in here?
There is towards the front of the cave. So you kind of had to go like out into the surf a little bit and around to get into, so you can see the like the surf sort of coming up into the mouth of the cave a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to try something. If you, Paul, want to come towards the water?
Sure, all right.
And just think of your family and how much you care for them and wish to provide for them.
All right.
Maybe close your eyes and let the feeling fill you up.
He goes down to the water with you and stands there sort of awkwardly, eyes closed,
Alina's gonna just try and focus on that energy and see if it draws any herring.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I like this. Let's have you roll. But what?
Yeah.
The age-old question. Where are the empathy skills?
Maybe inspiration? Not sure how that works.
Inspiration sounds good because I don't think it's manipulation. Don't think it's observation. Let's do inspiration.
Okay. 0 successes.
Okay. You sort of reach out with your mind and you focus on that energy. I'll say it doesn't call any herring to you. But you can sort of feel from Paul like a very sort of palpable swell in sort of energy, like in his aura that is surrounding him. So it's there. Something's happening. It didn't call any fish to you. But there is a sort of an uptick in energy from him for sure.
Well, didn't quite do what I want, but it's possible because you're not part fish yourself that you don't have any power to draw them, but I think it might work.
Oh, well, if that's all it takes, it's way easier than what we were doing before.
It's just a matter of if it's enough for your friends and your family.
Right.
Could you perhaps take this aura energy? I'm not sure. To take whatever the Paul or anyone is giving you and perhaps imbue it in an item? Or perhaps do we need to go to her island and she could take that energy? I don't... Does that make sense?
Yes, I mean, I've never done anything like that before, but if the item had significance and such, we could try. Again, it's a much better alternative than what's going on now, and as the mermaid was saying, human life is short and not necessarily the most powerful thing there is.
Well, we could try this in a few ways. Either we could attempt to convince the very angry household to attempt this, or we could go there ourselves and attempt to convince her and see if it works.
The second option seems more likely.
And far more dangerous.
They're going to be heading there tonight anyway, based on my understanding, correct? It is the full moon.
But they need a sacrifice, don't they?
I imagine they'll find one way or another, if it's important enough to them.
Just so we're all clear, you don't think there's any way that we can convince Paul's brother that he's not doing the right thing?
Well, I did just insult him rather readily to his face with the guns in my hand. I don't know how much he will listen to what we have to say.
All right.
He seems very dedicated to his course of action.
Right. And why do we think that the mermaid is going to be interested in our deal?
Well,
He
Well-
likes things. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it's more powerful, that might be good enough for her.
All right.
Or at the very least, getting a hold of this energy is far less complicated than finding a sacrifice once a month.
Fair.
if the carrot doesn't work, then we can also say that if they decide not to go with this option, despite it being the better alternative, that we could simply return to Grimsey, advise as many others as we can of the situation here. I'm sure there are others that would be quite interested in learning that there was a mer creature in these waters, which would make it very inconvenient for them in the future. They
Right.
didn't seem concerned about the authorities, but I'm sure they'd be very concerned about unscrupulous Vaesen hunting individuals making their way here.
And perhaps if it does come down to it and we have to do something, we could simply take the mermaid out of the equation. Take her with us.
Kidnap her.
That'd be a better alternative than trying to kill her.
If there's no other option, I suppose killing or capturing her would be the only recourse we have left.
Right. Do we know anything that could contain her? Just to prepare for all contingencies.
Who's done any like significant research into Vaesen before? Tilda and Danny. Go ahead and roll learning for me.
One success.
2 successes.
Ah.
Ah.
All right. Using one of those successes. Doesn't matter which one. I'll say Danny. And then you can each bank one. Is that fair?
Sure.
Do it that way. Danny, you remember, and as you start to talk about this, Tilda, I think it comes back to you. You remember in your research reading something about Vaesen who are sea creatures. There are many Vaesen that are sort of water-based, sea-based. And you know that a lot of them, especially the ones with magical abilities, they can be disrupted in a couple of ways. I think probably like framing this as you looking for cures to different conditions and things like that. They found that if somebody who had come in contact with one of these creatures and was suffering something because of it, if their skin came into contact with metal, the symptoms would go away.
Any metal?
Mm.
Iron?
I seem to recall something from my research when I was perusing the library, attempting to understand a few things. I believe that one of the records indicated that contact with metal alloys negates certain effects by these sorts of creatures.
Yes.
So
if we perhaps caught her in a net or
cage.
Chains?
Chains
Yes.
as well. If we bind her and such, it should render her powers inert.
well, any chains or small fishing cages nearby in this little smuggler's den?
I mean, it does make sense that they would have stuff like that for chaining down crates on boats and things. Sure, there's chains in there, if that's what you want. I can justify that pretty easily.
Search montage, looking around, picking up stuff.
Yeah, you'll find some old, slightly rusted, little barnacled, but in decent condition chains with the eye hooks and the bolts on the end still attached, like they had been taken off of a boat, maybe to be transferred to another one.
Nice.
This could work for us for two ways, though. If she does have some sort of ability to influence or manipulate us via this song, perhaps keeping a bit of metal on our persons would help keep those powers from having their full effect on us.
Could plug our ears as well with something.
I have this. Pulls up her little 4-leaf clover on a chain.
Right, that might do.
I'll make sure it's touching my skin.
I have a scalpel in my medical bag that I can keep in my pocket.
Anyone else wearing jewelry of any kind? Metal jewelry?
I want to say I have knuckle dusters, but I don't know why I think that. Hold on. No. I have a leather whip.
That's not a metal,
It's not helpful. I have
unfortunately.
a rare cut.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn cool.
It might not be necessary that we all carry something, but in the outcome that something happens, those of us that can act, make sure we alleviate those that are suffering those symptoms.
Right.
I do find that metal causes me to break out into a rash, so I try to avoid wearing it. But if it's better than nothing, I suppose I could try.
I believe a rash might be preferable to drowning yourself in the ocean.
If you think so.
That's my medical opinion, at least.
Well, I shall trust it, I suppose. I think she finds like a fish hook, ties it around her neck.
Okay. Does Alina have like an immediate reaction to metal touching her?
No, I think it just builds
Just
up
like
over
over
time.
Good to know.
Now, will that also keep you from using your abilities?
No, I'm not a Vason.
All right. We have all of our supplies. Now we just need to transport. Paul, do you know of a boat we might utilize?
Well, it's not exactly subtle, but we could take one of the shipping boats. They're kind of big, but they'll get you there.
Do we take the big, bulky boat? Or do I risk going back into the inn? Did we see Orvar when we went back to the inn to try to get our stuff?
No.
Big, bulky boat it is.
Might be good. You never know when a storm's gonna pop up around here.
Can she control the weather?
I don't know. Maybe. Weather here is weird.
But a big boat would be fairly safer in inclement weather?
Yeah, so that's why we use them for shipping. They're big, but they're not tall. They're sort of low to the water, so hard to flip.
Good. Good. That should be fine then.
Tend to stay upright.
Jim, what is the weather like?
It's a beautiful, clear, starry, full moon night.
I thought you said Jim for a second. I was like, what is
That's
Jim?
me, I'm Jim.
Jimothy!
Or like the
Hello.
weather guy that we're asking that sits in on our.
Over to Jim with the weather. How's
Hello,
it looking
Jim.
outside?
What should we do with the father?
Right.
He'll likely be unconscious for a considerable period of time.
Perhaps he should come with us regardless.
I don't know, you got some rope? I could just tie him up. Sailor's not so old.
I'm reluctant to bring him along, considering the chaos that he has already caused. Perhaps we restrain
Right.
him. When this matter is dealt with, we'll come back to release him.
Should we leave him a note?
Sure, I will write something for him.
And he'll be safe here. The tide won't rise up too far.
Well, if we're not gone for that long, it shouldn't be a problem.
Given the nature of the hold, I doubt these smugglers would stow belongings in an area that would be subjected to the tides.
Right.
Just check to see how wet the walls are, too.
Pretty good?
Pretty good. You can see, as Alina says that, you can see a definite like line, like a water line, where some water probably does get in here. It's not high though.
Okay.
And it doesn't reach all the way to the back of the cave.
We'll put him at the back then. Yeah.
Under the possibility that we die, I suppose rather than restraining him, I'll just give him a slightly bigger dose. He'll wake up later today, and if we're not here, then we've likely died, and he can do whatever it is he wants. I just would hate for him to starve to death here.
That's actually very good foresight, Doctor.
Okay. Any other planning?
No, but before we leave, I'll just pull Paul aside for just a second. Villy will sort of speak into his ear with her hand on his, like, grab his arm as he's, like, walking by and just say, I know you like your family a lot. So if you do intend to betray us, or if you do anything that I don't like, I'll drown you myself. Do you understand?
You roll manipulation for me.
Sure. I get +2 because I'm wearing a cloak.
It makes you extra spooky.
Mm-hmm. That's, not great with my stuff, but let's go. 1 success.
Okay. You say this to him, and you feel him kind of tense under your hand a little bit. He's like, that's the wrong accent. They're not going to take me back after this anyway. I got no reason to do you dirty.
Good. Well, then let's go. She brushes his arm off where she was holding him and gives him a nice little pat on the back.
Right. Let's go. And you all, with Paul in tow, head out. Anything else you want to do? You give Oscar a little bit more morphine. You leave him a note.
Just
you
a
take your
smidge will do.
chains. What?
I said just a smidge, but yeah.
Just a smidge. Just a little top him off.
Yeah.
A little morphine.
He's gonna get
You
a really
leave.
good nap.
You leave a note, and you head out with Paul, who, by all accounts, is supposed to be on these docks because he works there all the time, to one of these sort of large, flat cargo ships. It's not massive. It can be manned by a small crew. So you're not on an aircraft carrier or anything like that, but enough to have several stacks of crates on top and stuff. You see him talk to one of the other people on the docks really quickly, nod, shake hands, and he motions for you all to join him on this boat. And as you set out once again for the debrief, that is where we're going to go ahead and take our break. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us so far. Did not know how this was going to go. Did I think it was this way? Absolutely not. Do I love it? Yes. So we are going to take a quick break, refresh our snacks, our drinks, and ourselves, stretch, do whatever else it is you need to do on the break. Take a deep breath, meditate for a few minutes, and we will be back very shortly to see what happens next. So stick around. And welcome back, Internet. Thank you for hanging out with us during our break. We are rested and refreshed and professional and ready to go. I was trying to be calm and I couldn't do it. Have you met me? I am hype. Let's continue.
Sorry, stream. My thing wasn't muted, and on both, it's fucking up. So they just heard a lot of bag crinkling.
That's okay. I was pausing to choose some music. I just really like this one a lot, so I'm gonna keep using it. So we will expedite the process a little bit, unless there's anything you all want to do on the boat on the way to the debrief. Then we're just gonna go there.
I just want to make clear that I have chains.
Yes, Billy's brought chains.
I've wrapped them around me.
We'll enter that into the court record.
Thank you.
I now have 2 guns.
You do have 2 guns. Thank you for reminding me. Anybody else want to declare anything?
Alina has a rash.
Alina is getting a rash
Just a little one.
from the fish hook that's like right here.
Yep.
Oh, and it itches. It sucks. As a person with a real life metal allergy, I feel your pain.
Yep.
I saw that look when Morgan said something and you went, oh.
I know exactly what that feels like. Danny, you want to declare anything?
I have a map.
You do have a map. You know where you're going. You've been there before. All right. So, the 4 of you and Paul head out on this this smaller but still pretty large shipping vessel across the water toward the deep reef. As you get close, who thinks they're keeping a lookout?
I'm watching the weather. I'm watching that moon. I'm like waiting for it to turn blood red or some shit. Like Tilda's on edge.
Okay. Go ahead and roll vigilance.
Could I apply my thingy here? What is it? Eagle Eye. You gain a +2 to vigilance when trying to interpret situations you're not directly involved in.
I feel like you're pretty directly involved in this one.
Damn. All right. That's okay. Vigilance. One success.
Okay. So as you approach the deep reef, Tilda, you're sort of watching out, and you can see the small rocky island. And on approach, the ship sort of crests up a little bit on a small wave in the current, and as you are lifted up just a little bit on the other side of the island, you can see that there is already a boat that is moored there.
They may have beat us here.
Does this change the plan?
No. I think we should still bring the idea to the mermaid. I feel terrible. We didn't even ask her name. To the mermaid and to whoever else has arrived.
Didn't Paul refer to her as the Queen of the Sea or something along those lines?
I'm right here, and yes, I did.
Ah, right. Hello.
Is that usually what you call her? It's just Her Majesty, or
I don't know, it'd probably work.
Her Majesty seems like a good idea, just to be safe. Right. Perhaps everyone be on their guard.
All right. So as Tilda warns you about this, you approach on the ship the deep reef. Paul drops anchor nearby and sort of starts to let the ship drift in close enough where you can walk up the side of the rocks, and you can tell that even as opposed to this morning when you were there, the island is a little bit more exposed, as if the water is a little bit lower, and you step out onto the rocks. As you do, you hear voices coming from the other side. Again, it's a very, very small island. You hear voices coming from the other side, and as do you try to hide, or do you just approach?
might not be a bad idea to maybe be quiet about it.
Okay, stealth rolls all around.
Damn, Danny, damn.
Rolled
My
8
rolls
dice
have
and got
gone
a
up.
0.
You can have my extra success.
Okay.
So that's at least one success for everybody, right?
You're
All right. So, I should roll for Paul, huh? Oh, he's good. He's good at this. Good job, Paul. Proud of you.
well done, Paul.
Sometimes I forget I'm supposed to roll dice in this game. All right. So, the 5 of you sort of creep along, sort of skirting around the edge to get behind the source of the voices that you are hearing, and you peer up over a sort of particularly large, almost like a boulder, that is like a raised spot in the rock, essentially, that is hiding you a little bit. And you see, standing near the shore of the other side of this island, of the deep reef, you see Zacharias, you see Pete and Pace, and you see another woman. It is not the godmother, but standing there. You all recognize her. A younger woman. In the moonlight, you can see sort of a small, sort of gentler face, light blonde hair pulled back in a braid. The boat captain, Sarah. That got you to Wrecker Isle in the first place. She stands there alongside them. And you can see them talking amongst themselves. And then you see Zacharias break off from the rest. He has taken his shoes off and has sort of rolled up his trousers. And he walks out into the water until it's about to his knees. And for a bit, unless you intervene, he just stands there. He stands there for a while, occasionally leaning down and sort of like running his hand through the water. And you see him just stand there for a bit. And then out a little bit further in the water, after a few minutes, you see some ripples form. And as they do after just a moment, you see sort of poking her head out, and then making her way toward the shore and sort of situating herself on a rock nearby, so her tail is still in the water. The mermaid that you saw before. They start to talk for a bit, kind of in hushed tones, and then you see Zacharias turn back toward the group, smile, walks over to Sarah and offers his hand out toward her.
All right, maybe we should make our approach now, I guess.
Should we say something?
Please back me up.
Of course.
Stop! There's another way.
All of them sort of start and turn to look toward the source of the sound. I assume they see Tilda coming out from behind the rock.
Billy very quickly behind her.
Okay.
Alina too.
Okay, Alina right behind Danny.
I'm really debating. Danny will stay behind just in case.
Paul is going to stay with you. Feeling like maybe he should hang back a little bit.
You should stay here as well. Danny will also.
Right, yeah. I figured. The three of you step out. Tilda, you say stop, and you see Zacharias sort of turn to face you. He doesn't say anything and sort of looks to the side toward the mermaid, who sees you, and you see after that moment of recognition, you see a little bit of a smile across her face. You return.
Yes.
How quaint.
and Your son has done as well, as promised.
What do you want?
You said you require a certain amount of energy in order to keep this place fruitful. Does it not stand that energy does not have to come from death? Perhaps it can come from another source?
More powerful source, more consistent.
You're a businessman, Mr. Amundsen. Think smarter, not harder.
You see him take a deep breath, but he still doesn't say anything. Just sort of looks toward the mermaid. She cocks her head, smiles again. You mentioned this before. Have you thought of something?
Alina?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, you were the one who did point out that human lives are frail and flimsy and short, and I can't imagine a lot of power comes from that.
No, it's rather annoying.
Well, sir, do you still have the perfume bottle on your person?
Zacharias sort of squints at you and then reaches into a large pocket, sort of takes it out.
You should be able to sense it too, correct? The power emanating from it. And it doesn't come from any sort of sacrifice. In fact, it comes from something that you don't have to give up. You can give freely and keep it for yourself.
The mermaid sort of looks between the two of you, cocks her head again. Show me.
Well, don't need to close your eyes, but I find that I focus better if I do. And just feel love for Zacharias, perhaps the love of the town, his family, you, for you, your son, for his family as well. Everyone here can feel it, I suppose, if they love this place. And perhaps you should empty the perfume bottle.
gonna have you roll inspiration.
Okay.
Can I assist?
Sure.
Just repeat everything she says. Yes.
Backing her up.
How many bonus dice is that?
2.
3 successes.
All right. Zacharias sort of looks between you and his mother for a moment, and then almost, I was gonna say deflates, not deflates, almost like relaxes a little bit. Sort of walks toward the water, takes the bottle, opens it, takes what's left inside, which is not a whole lot. That it clearly gets a lot of use, and pours it out. All right.
Now, all that feeling you have for your home and your family and your mother, just feel it pour out of you into the bottle. Something that's precious to you, that was given to you.
He stands there and sort of holding the sea glass bottle in both hands, and closes his eyes. And you all wait for a long moment. And then something starts to happen. Morgan, what does this look like?
I want to say like almost a gold light, like liquid gold, just pouring into the bottle and swirling about.
You see that coming from Zacharias, almost like from the center of his chest, like threads of this liquid gold that sort of place themselves at the top, pour themselves into the bottle. You see them coming from the mermaid as well, until the bottle is full between the two of them. And he opens his eyes, and she does as well, and they both look at it, and she smiles and looks at you, Alina, and says, "How unexpected." Humans are so often a disappointment to me. Not you, though.
Well, I find that if you give them a chance, sometimes they surprise you. Us, I mean.
Us, indeed. You're very strange for a human.
I've been told that quite a lot.
Are you sure you are one at all?
Yes. Is this enough for you to keep you going for, I hope, longer than a full moon?
I suppose we'll see. Thank you.
Of course.
She reaches out and takes the bottle sort of gently from Zacharias, sort of tucks it in under her arm. I'll return. Until then, you're welcome here.
Thank you.
She turns dives back into the water.
I'm sorry for ruining your once-a-month reunion with your mother, Zacharias, but I hope that was okay.
I suppose it has to be, doesn't it? I hope this works. For
Me too.
everyone's sake.
If you have any problems, just let us know.
Of course.
We're more than happy to help.
Will you be going then?
I think we should stay the night, but in the morning. Unless there's anything else you'll be needing.
It might behoove you to do something about your priest. I don't imagine he'll be pleased with this outcome.
I think we can take care of that.
And, as my mother said, this is her home, so you're welcome.
Very kind of you.
We'll be going. Now. Pete,
We shan't.
Pace, Sarah.
Shan't overstay our welcome. All right. Back to the vote.
Keep an eye on them as we walk back.
You know, might walk backwards, try not to trip on anything, keep an eye on them.
They head back to their boat. They get on it, the four of them, and they take off. Do you do the same?
Do you think we should stick around for a little bit just to make sure they're not going to like try something?
Perhaps we should keep an eye on our boat in the meantime.
Of course. Maybe see what Paul's planning to do. Probably know he's missing now.
Yes.
So you're gonna stick around for a little bit on the reef? Okay. Stick around for a bit. The mermaid, whose name you'll never know, does not return. And Zacharias, Pete Pace, and Sarah return to their boat. They sail off, and you sort of watch them go in the direction of Wrecker Isle. Nothing too suspicious on the horizon. Though at this point, the horizon itself is starting to change a little bit and glow a sort of soft pink and orange as the sun is beginning to rise. Anything you want to do before you go?
Mm-mm.
Danny was taking frantic notes the entire time and trying to.
I assume so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that worked. I wasn't sure it was going to.
That was a very clever idea.
Very well done.
Thank you.
I must do further research into this power that you used.
Love?
Yes, that.
This might be above my place, sir, but have you ever been in love?
No.
What about with your family? Did you love them?
I was fond of my parents, yes. Wasn't exactly a, Well, that's not important right now, is it?
Perhaps not. It's a lovely feeling if you ever do experience it.
Sure. Right. Well, I believe that we've accomplished everything we meant here. I am interested in checking out the aisle to the east of here, I believe. Perhaps we could swing by on the way. They called it Graveyard Aisle.
What purpose?
It sounded interesting. Since there's no longer a concern here, and the priest will likely be unconscious for several more hours.
Well, we can always pay our respects to those who came before.
Sure.
Right. I'll head back.
All right. You get ready to leave, Paul in tow, and start to head back toward your boat. As you do, there is a little bit of a rumbling underneath all of your feet. Almost like an earthquake. And the water just around the island is disturbed. Just a little. Nothing to make you throw you off, fall over, or anything like that. But the ground starts to shake. You hurry back to the boat at Paul's urging and board and very, very quickly weigh anchor and sail away. As you make your way away from the deep reef, all of you look and see again this just ever so slight rippling in the water as the deep reef moves. Just a bit, kind of shakes, shudders. And then on the other side of the island, you see very briefly, sort of coming up onto the rocks, again, the silhouette of the mermaid. And behind her, reaching out of the water, just briefly, and then kind of laying over on its side and submerging itself again, is one huge, thick tentacle. But it splashes down, slides back down into the water, almost like it's waving. Billy waves back.
Nice.
You sail back to Wrecker Isle.
We all saw that, right? It's not the sleep deprivation or anything like that, right?
Yes, I believe that was the friend of the mermaid that's been with her the whole time.
Right. Perhaps a very kind octopus. Or a kraken.
All right.
I think I'm ready for bed.
I'll return to the cavern and keep an eye on the father.
Are you sure? I could go get him. Carry him back.
Do you think that's wise? He did just set fire to the proprietor of the inn's home.
Right. What?
Care
What?
of him.
Oh.
Mr. Amundsen did give us leave to take care of him in our own way, so perhaps we can bring him supervised back to the inn and take care of him once we awake.
I'm more concerned of what he might do to the inn upon his awakening.
Well, could you keep him sedated until we need to leave?
I could. There shouldn't be too many lasting effects.
And perhaps at the end, he would be able to see his beloved Justina. If we are to take him away to parts unknown, although not very unknown, he's probably going to prison. He should at the very least be able to say goodbye.
Whatever you think is best.
We should let him say his goodbyes, I think. Billy, would
Right.
you mind so much? Carrying him back?
Billy should be able to handle it.
All right, so plan is to take the priest, let him say goodbye, and then get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
All right. We can do this relatively easily. I won't belabor the point. Is there anything else you will want to do before you head back to Grimsey?
Find Orvar? I like him, all right? He's a crotchety old Thursday child. I like him.
He shows up at the inn at some point, I'm sure.
Orvar?
Oh, it's you.
It's me. I'm going to give you an address. If you should need anything.
Dress.
An address? A mailing address. For post? If you should need anything, you could write to us there.
All right.
Lovely. Give him the Citadel's address, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, he takes it, looks at it, a little confused, folds it up, tucks it away. Is that all?
Yes. You seem very self-sufficient, but we all need friends sometimes.
Right. Yes, of course.
Take good care, Elva.
Goodbye, Tilly.
It's Tilda. It's fine. It's written down.
Sorry?
Nothing. Have a good day.
You too, Tammy.
Right. Sighs. Walks away.
Anything else?
Can Alina find the nice young man who showed them where the body was?
Sven,
Yes.
you mean?
I couldn't remember his name.
I do. Of course. Yeah, he again appears at the inn at some point.
Oh, hello.
Why?
Sorry I never had that drink with you. We got a little distracted. We are going now, but if you ever find yourself in Grimsby, you can come say hello.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Where can I find you?
Where do we live? A cathedral? Where do we live in?
What's it called?
Citadel.
Hemlig Citadel.
Yep. She gives them the name of that, and
I don't rightly know where that is, but I'll write it down for sure. I find myself in Grimsby from time to time on the shipping ships.
Mhm.
So
the ships that ship.
those ones.
Well, that's nice.
Great. So I'll look you up.
Okay.
Very nice to meet you.
Yes, you as well. All right, bye.
Oh, goodbye, Alina.
She turns to go.
Alina leaves, leaving him standing there awkwardly but smiling. Anything
Billy
else?
just fades into a doorway.
Just watching in the background. All right. So you you head back to Grimsby. In that case, when you get back to the Citadel, very quickly, we have some questions to answer. Because when you complete a mystery, you get these good development points for your house. So we'll do those real quick, and then we'll talk about what developments you want later. So the group returns to Grimsby after completing a mystery. You must together answer the following questions. Each affirmative answer yields 1 development point. Did you play at least one scene at the headquarters? This is over the entire mystery.
At the very beginning,
You did.
yeah.
Mm. You did. Did you encounter a new type of basin?
Yes.
You did. A mermaid. Did you visit a place of magic?
The debrief.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the debrief counts. Were you subjected to magic? This is a question I can answer for some of you, because the answer is yes.
Talking fish?
In the form of maybe a fish on the beach talking to you, even though it's dead and a fish and can't talk, among other things. Sudden thunderstorms that pop up and then disappear without warning and leaving little trace, among other things. Let's see. Did you
Magical
bring
perfume.
magical perfume? Did you bring occult books or other important items back to headquarters?
Not this time, nah.
I don't think you brought anything back.
No, really wanted to bring the mermaid, but
You tried. Did you
if I
make
brought
any
the
important?
fish, does that count? I said if I brought the fish, would that count?
No.
Okay.
And you didn't bring it. You gave it to Justina to get rid of.
Fair. I'm just seeing if you were paying attention.
I was there. Did you make important contacts?
Yeah. A mermaid,
Now-
the guy who runs
yeah.
the town, a priest,
Yeah.
Orvar.
Orvar? Paul?
Paul.
Pete, Pace,
Uh,
Perry.
No, Pete and Pace don't I wouldn't count them as contacts if I were you. I would not list them as references. Was the mystery particularly difficult and epic?
And we saved a town with the power of love. That feels pretty epic.
Pretty good. I didn't get to attack anything with the Kraken that's been living out there this whole time.
And now I'm even more disappointed.
But now you know he's there.
I can't believe we solved this mystery with the power of love instead of fighting a Kraken.
I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
Morgan gets what she wants.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys were all
want.
worried about the mermaid when you should have been worried about the Kraken.
Don't worry.
Friends.
It's gonna come back up.
Yes.
I'm not letting that one go.
Friends.
Can I befriend the Kraken and then ride it around?
You can certainly try. You are his mom's friends now. Did you solve the mystery?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 7.
Woo.
There was a moment where I thought we were just gonna go home and just be like, fuck this shit.
There was a moment where I thought that was gonna happen too. If I'm being honest. Okay, is there a place to put development points? I will put them on there. You have 7. We will talk about what you decide to develop.
Did we not have carryover from the last one?
We had 3 carryover from last time.
Oh, they weren't on there. Well, I'm gonna put them on
paper.
You have 10.
What?
10 development points. So we'll spend some time looking in the book and deciding what you all want to spend those on, because that is enough for at least 2 new things. So you make it back to the Citadel. We've got some downtime, a little bit of downtime. Is there anything in particular anybody thinks they want to get up to in the aftermath of the mermaid?
Bar.
Bar's good. You guys want to go to a bar?
I'm gonna go to a bar.
Going to a bar sounds good. In like the internum time, is there a piano at the Citadel?
I think there has to be.
When she's sure that no one else is around, Tilda will be playing around with that tune from Danny's sheet music. But only when no one's around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tilda spends some time at the piano, messing with the tune that Danny was playing before.
Can I spend a fate point to make Danny overhear this?
That's not this game.
Damn. Danny doesn't go to the bar unless somebody drags them. But
All right, well, Villy's going to the bar. Villy, do you invite everyone else?
She'll probably say it in passing. She will mention that she's going out.
Oh yes, please.
Sorry?
If you would like a companion or two, I would not mind a drink.
Oh, of course.
Alina, would you like to go?
Oh, I'm all right.
Doctor?
no, I have business to catch up on. I've been away from the clinic for several days now.
Afterwards?
We'll see.
Might be the best we get. All right.
I'll grab my coat then.
Lovely.
Okay. So Villy and Tilda head out to a bar. Danny and Alina, you stay back at the Citadel. presumably getting some work done. Danni and or Alina, is there anything you would like to do? Get up to? Any shenanigans you would like to ensue?
I have something that might involve Alina if Alina doesn't have anything specific she wants to do.
I don't think she has anything.
Okay. Danni will ask, I guess I can do this in character. Alina,
Mhm.
you were very helpful the other day assisting me. Would you mind helping me at the clinic?
I don't mind at all.
Thank you. There's a lot to be done, and I am woefully understaffed. So, if you don't mind, I was planning on heading over there now.
Oh, sure. I don't have anywhere to be.
Right. Go with her with the intention of basically interrogating her most of the time that she's working there, to try to find as much, like, asking, like, how long she's been having these sort of visions for. Trying to be, like, casual about it, being way too overbearing with it. I'm trying to play more into the character connection that we have about Alina makes a fascinating research subject. So Danni spends most of that time using this as kind of a guise to ask her a lot of questions about who she is and when she started getting these powers and the reasoning behind them.
Okay. Alina, how much information do you offer?
She answers honestly, but it probably doesn't give as much information as they're hoping for.
There.
Okay. We can get some of the details of that later. Oh, that's fun. I like it. Okay, so Danni, you spend a lot of time interrogating Alina. Alina, you answer honestly as best you can. Is she at all like off-put by this?
No.
No, just answers, goes along with it.
Yep, she's
Love that.
cleaning things, I suppose, organizing shelves.
I love it.
It's
All
probably
right.
a lot
Useful.
of like, oh yes, put that over there. So how long did you say it's been since the last time? And that sort of thing. Just like not really caring about what she's doing.
It's a whole montage. I love it. All right, we'll get some details together for Danni for those purposes. In the meantime, Tilda and Villy, you head out to a bar. What bar? Where are you? Where you go? I feel like we had a bar before, and I don't think I
Something about a pony. The drunken pony. Is that right?
Shit! Wait.
That's
At the Drunken Pony Tavern. All right, the two of you head in. Put on the tavern music.
Billy orders a scotch.
Oh, yes, please. Another of those.
So, how are you adjusting to living life in the Citadel?
Surprisingly well. I still keep an apartment, of course, but other than being dreadfully drafty, it's quite a place.
I think so too. It's well, it doesn't get as much use as I'd like it to, but it does keep it busy.
Certainly. As much use. Do you wish us to have dinner parties, or?
It'd give me more to do, and dust doesn't settle quite as much when there's movement.
I will take my work from the library and move it to a different room every day.
That
How's
would be
that?
lovely. I think that'll do.
Splendid.
I hope this all of the danger involved in all this isn't putting you off what we do.
I'll admit it's not my favorite part of the job, but I'm somewhat used to a slight bit of danger in what I do.
Really?
Oh, yes. Hasn't kept me from a story yet, so.
Well, that's fair. Keeps your life exciting.
I would like to think what we do is important.
I think so too.
So, well worth it.
I'm glad that we could solve the problem as we did. I didn't want to have to hurt anyone.
Me either. I do feel for the priest, I suppose. Still, if anyone should understand, there is a different way of going about things. It's a member of the clergy, or one would hope at least.
Right. Hopefully they keep it up and they're able to sustain themselves that way. I suppose a good idea.
It was very well thought out. Alina is very bright.
She is. She always has been.
Yes, that's right. You've known her for a very long time.
Yes. Since she was young and I was young.
You're not old.
Older than some.
Aren't we all?
I found that the power of love is, well, now that it's been quantified, it's, you know, you're
Strong
able
stuff.
to see, right. But I feel like I've always known that in some way or another. You know, when you approach things with hate or aggression, misunderstanding, makes things messy. And you usually get things wrong in the end.
I suppose you're right. Haven't had much experience of it myself.
No? No
No.
partners on the horizon for you?
I've had partners of a sort before, but had a teacher I was very fond of, but not really.
Well, tell me, what do you look for in someone you're interested in?
All right, hypothetically speaking.
Of course.
Wit, able to carry on a conversation. Kind. Funny. Good looks aren't bad, I suppose. Very helpful on some occasions. And, I don't know. Someone who could keep up with me, which isn't many.
That's nice.
Why do you ask?
Well, what else does one talk about when you're at a bar? I mean, don't get any fights, so that's usually what I talk to my friends about. Or work.
I suppose. I had a co-worker to speak with on such matters. I think I've royally, fucked that up, to be perfectly honest.
What did you do?
It is what we did that I believe is what fucked it up.
Did you have sex somewhere you weren't supposed to?
Just the sex in general, I think, was probably not the
Right.
best of ideas.
Co-workers.
Bosses?
Oh, that is quite the scandal, isn't it?
Hopefully you won't be going and telling anyone.
Of course, who would I tell?
No, really, please don't tell anyone.
I won't. I promise I won't. I said I wouldn't.
Thank you.
I keep a lot of secrets. I'm pretty good at it. Comes with the territory.
Well, so far we've managed to keep things somewhat professional, but she did ask to have drinks at some point.
And you're thinking that's probably not a good idea.
Probably not for the best.
That's understandable.
Yes. Well, after all that, here's to a job well done.
Of course. Cheers.
Skull. Drink, fun conversation.
Mhm.
Does Richter show up at all?
Not tonight.
She keeps
He is
an eye out.
absent. Yeah,
Keeps
you
an eye
keep an eye out for Richter, but nope.
And
he is,
also for Annika, just in case.
they are both absent from the Drunken
Cool.
Pony tonight. You have a nice drink, you hang out, your bond level goes up probably by 1, I think.
Is that a? I'm
You,
sorry. Is that a thing, or are you just saying?
No, I'm,
You're now
I'm
at a
doing a
B-
joke.
for your.
I'm doing a Fire Emblem joke.
So they have to do their event, their quest line now for.
There is going to be a cutscene after this, though.
Okay.
You have a nice drink at the tavern. You hang out. Is there anything else right now anybody wanted to do? So I'm going to pitch this as this. We've still got a little bit of time left. I'm going to move on to some setup over the next week before our next session. If there's anything anybody would have wanted to do during downtime, we can come back to that. You guys can think about it, and then we will go from there. So don't feel pressured to come up with everything right now. I'm a big fan of a time break. We'll come back to it.
Time break.
Thank you. Anything else pressing? Okay. So a little bit of time passes. Some upgrades happen in the Citadel, which we will also talk about. But I'll say I'll give this like 2 weeks. That feels like a good amount of downtime. Some of you probably have stuff you want to get up to. Some of you definitely have conditions that you're going to need to clear. So we'll talk about those because they will be cleared at this point. But like 2 weeks or so later, there is a not a knock. Someone rings the bell officially at the front of the Citadel. Are any of you accustomed to answering the door?
Yes.
I'll say Villy gets there before what did we name it? He's Jimothy in this one too, right?
Jimothy.
Okay. Before Jimothy, Villy, the bell rings, and you've been helping Jimothy with some work around the house. You offer to get the door, and You open the door, and there is a man standing before you. He is tall, thin, dark hair, sort of slicked back, a hat on top as he is uniformed. This is a cop that has shown up at your door.
Hello.
Dark hair, dark mustache. He sort of nods.
How can I help you?
He sighs immediately, looking irritated and like he doesn't want to be here. Says, sorry to bother you. And he's got a sort of stack of papers in his hand. This is the headquarters of the society. Yes?
It is.
And you employ one Dr. Danni Madsen, correct?
They do live here, yes.
Right. I'm Detective Viktorski.
Viktorski.
And, well, I have something that you might be interested in.
Me?
Well, your group. Specifically.
All right. Would you like to come in?
Yes, I would love that, actually.
Sure. Would you like some tea as well?
That would be nice. Thank you. Your name?
Really?
Billy. Right. I believe you have another couple of folk around. Dr. Madsen's co-workers, as it were.
There are others that live here, yes.
I think we should talk.
Right. Well, if you'll just take a seat in here, I'll gather everyone.
Thank you. He takes off his hat respectfully and stacks up his papers, takes a seat, and waits.
Go up to Tilda's room, or wherever she may be found.
She's keeping her promise, and she's just moving from room to room.
Nice.
Yes. So, yeah, she found some random room that has good light. Maybe it's a bedroom, but there's a desk.
Miss Tilda?
Yes?
There is a police officer at in the drawing room, a Detective Viktorski.
What do they want?
They're asking after the doctor. Says something's about him.
Oh. This is completely obvious. As soon as you said there's a police officer at the door, Tilda started sweating bullets. And then you said the name and that they weren't looking for her, and she's a little better now.
Is it something you'd like me to handle, or do you want to be present for it?
No, I'll come down. I shall be there shortly.
Wonderful. Go to Alina's room, or wherever she can be found.
She's probably in the garden.
Okay. Alina?
Yes.
There's a detective that has come to the door. He says he wants to speak with all of us. Has to do with the doctor.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
What do you mean?
I mean, the doctor's just like that. I figured someone would come around asking about them sooner or later.
Right. Is there something I should know?
No. I mean, I don't know any more than that, but...
All right. Is it something that you'd like to be present for, or would you like me to handle it?
Oh, I can come. I don't know if I'll be much help, but...
Right. Well, they're in the drawing room.
All right. I'll be right there.
Gonna go find the doctor.
I don't need any tea right now.
Of course.
Okay, that's
There is a
fine.
detective in the house. Detective Viktorski?
Viktorski.
Sure. They were saying that they wanted to talk to all of us, but not you. It's about you. I just thought you'd know, or should know.
Right. Right.
Is there anything you'll be needing?
Did the detective happen to say what it was regarding?
No, but there was a lot of papers in his hand.
Right.
Shall I get your horse ready?
Please.
Right. Do that pretty quickly, and then head back.
Danny's gonna try to listen in on this.
Okay.
Can I do some
You do not
sneaky
attend?
sneaks? Well, it was said that...
Yeah, it didn't seem like that he wanted
yeah.
Danny there, right?
Because what Billy
He
just
didn't
said
say he didn't.
was that Danny was not invited.
Sorry, that's
No, he
that's
asked.
what I got.
No, he just asked. He asked if Danny was here, and then asked if Danny's coworkers are here, and then said, "Yeah, we should all talk."
Well, then I will refresh that. He said that that you could come up, but I did not tell him that you were here specifically right now.
Well, I can't imagine that there's any harm in me attending the meeting.
Are
If
you
he had
sure?
anything, he would have just arrested me. No, I should be fine. Yes. I will attend.
Right.
A horse still might.
Right. Mm-hmm. We'll do that very quickly. And be back in time with the tea.
Hey, you ready? Danny's horse, just in case. Make some tea quickly, and come back around to the study. I don't know, some room where you receive
The
people.
drawing room.
The drawing room, where Tilda and Alina and Danny find themselves. Villy enters with tea, and Danny, you see the familiar face of Sebastian Viktorski. Hat in his lap, some papers sort of stacked up, and once everyone enters, he sort of nods and says, "All right. Well, this is a bit awkward.
How can we help you, detective?
Well, from a source of mine, I know a bit about your line of work. And unfortunately, for all of us, I am here to ask for your help."
Really?
Really?
And what might we help you with?
There's been an odd string of crimes in Grimsey over the past week. And we find them, well, the department finds them connected. I'm not entirely sure. But I've been sent here by a few more superstitious folk on the force to ask if you've seen anything. So let's make this quick, so it doesn't have to be a big thing, all right?
Right.
What sort of crimes?
Several. Breaking and entering, robbery, assault, arson. But most recently, earlier today, a murder.
Seems like standard fare for the police.
Yes, why would this be connected to our work?
Well, problem is not finding who did it. We know that. There's witnesses to every one of these crimes. Problem is finding the people who did them. Because almost immediately afterward, they all disappeared. Without a trace.
So a person committed a crime, was witnessed committing said crime, and then they disappeared immediately afterwards?
Hey. We can't find hide nor hair of any of them. And I find that a bit strange. Stranger than usual.
Could it simply be a band of thieves and murderers that are, unfortunately, extremely good at their jobs?
Unfortunately not. And that's why I'm here. He sets his hat to the side and pulls up the papers that he has in his hand, sort of spreading them out across the table. They're all wanted posters with either photographs or very detailed sketches of the perpetrators for each crime. It's not exactly a band of thieves we're looking for. These are upstanding citizens, wives, workers, people that are known in the community. And I can't find them.
Can we look through the wanted posters? Is there any, if they're all well-known community members, anyone we might recognize?
Sure. There are 6 of them. You look briefly through the wanted posters as he spreads them out. There's essentially the name, the crime or crimes that they are wanted for, and either a photo or a detailed drawing of them. A couple of things stick out to all of you. Amongst the crimes are breaking and entering, robbery, assault, arson, and murder. So quite the spread. They're all women. And Villy, you recognize one of them. The one on the end that he has spread out, the sort of in order of the crimes that have happened over the last week. The most recent one, her name is printed at the top and the charge of murder below it. You see the familiar round smiling face and dark curly hair of your friend Adela.
This can't be right. This is Adela. She couldn't murder a chicken, let alone a person.
Well, no offense, but I have evidence and testimony that suggests otherwise.
And who are these witnesses?
The victim's daughter, who was in the room, saw it with her own eyes.
She kind of turns to the rest of the group. I think there is something hinky up. This isn't possible for her to do something like this. I've known her for 10 years. She's never once even raised her voice.
Well, then perhaps we should look into it. It's been my experience, given the egregious accusations that certain detectives have levied against innocent persons in the past, that they may have overlooked things within their investigation.
You should
Says that
know.
loud enough for Viktorski.
You should all know that with this last one, the cases have become very high profile, as it were. Miss Johnson, as she stands right now, if we could find her, is being accused of murdering her employer, a Mr. Samuel Engstrom. You all know who this is. Samuel Engstrom is one of the richest men, or was one of the richest men in Grimsey. He, I guess at his base, is like an accountant, an account manager. He got very rich managing the money of basically every other rich and important person in Grimsey.
Well, would we have the full cooperation of your police force in aiding in this investigation?
You'll have some resources. Yes. You'll have me, first and foremost. And you'll have a friend of mine. An expert, as it were.
Sorry, an expert in what?
An expert in the kind of things that, if my sources tell me correctly, you folk go after.
Who is this expert?
His name's Max. Max Nordahl. A ruthless beast. But he gets the job done.
Well, I think we might all like to meet this Mr. Nordahl.
Of course. He's waiting outside. Just in case.
Should we invite him in? You're muted.
I said, of course. And Villy will go get the door.
Okay. You go get the door. Stepping out of a carriage that has been parked a little bit down the street, you see a man, a mountain of a man, very, very tall, probably pushing 7 feet, very broad shoulders, wearing a wide-brimmed hat that is sort of covering the top part of his face, shading him from the sun, a duster, sort of a long jacket with several weapons attached to various parts of his very large body. Max steps out, his boots hitting the ground loudly and forcefully, makes his way up toward the door and sort of looks down at you, Billy. Doesn't say anything. Just kind of tips his hat.
She nods. Doesn't say anything and just motions.
And he stomps his way into your home. And I think that is where we're going to end our session for the day. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us today for this completely bonkers episode of this show, Thursday's Children. We're already a little bit over time, so very quickly, let's do our experience questions. Questions for experience
The current mystery.
points. Did we save some certain to other worse? Did you participate in the session?
Yes.
Everyone did, obviously. Everyone gets XP for that. Did you confront any Vaesen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you identify a previously unknown Vaesen?
No.
Kraken.
Oh, wait.
Kraken.
And
Kraken.
I think Kraken counts. Okay, so that's 3, 4. Were you affected by your dark secret?
Yes.
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 Does having a small heart attack before figuring out that everything was okay count?
I think so.
Okay.
Having the
It was meant to
detective
scare you.
investigating you show up to your house count.
Definitely counts. Yes, those of you that yelled yes immediately, you right. Did you take risks to protect other people?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
An entire fucking
I'm-
town.
Gonna say everybody did at some point. That one was
I'm gonna-
wild.
I'm gonna have a scar.
Billy took a literal bullet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everybody did. My favorite question. Have you learned anything? What?
The power of love is fucking powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Among
Krakens
other
are a thing.
things. Krakens are a thing.
Y'all learned I banged my boss.
Yeah. Good job.
I was wondering when that was gonna come up
That's one way to
in
get a
conversation.
raise.
Learn that Danny may not be so innocent. Something new that no one here at
Yeah,
Suspected
no one
or
knew that.
knew. Sure.
All right. Did you develop something in your headquarters? No, we will get to that one next time. Because we're going to talk about that. Just wanted to give us plenty of time to develop things. Did you perform an extraordinary action?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I want to hear what they are, though. Let's go around the table and talk about how extraordinary we are.
I taught a mermaid how to love.
You taught a mermaid how to love.
Mm-hmm.
6 successes.
6 successes.
I took a bullet for someone, pushed them
I
out of the
healed
way.
with a touch.
That's true.
Did take a bullet for somebody?
Tilda walked in the middle of a very heated situation.
With 2 guns.
Yeah, I
With
was
two
gonna say.
guns!
You dual wielded.
Dual wielding!
Tilda-
Yeah!
Tilda kind of went nuts there. I love it. This session was very extraordinary. All right, so everyone should have gotten like at least 6 XP, I think.
Oh, I leveled and then some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
Got
I think I leveled
so many.
twice.
I almost
So
did another
many.
lap, yeah.
XP. You all lapped yourselves. I love that. Yeah. That was great. Good job, everybody. That is the end of our session today. I can put away all of the dice that I had for the Kraken just in case. Do you guys want to know how many it was?
For what?
Or should I keep that a secret?
How many Kraken hit us with? Well, if Kraken gonna come back, then maybe that'd be good. That's a lot.
Kraken have 1 stat.
It punch.
10
Do you
I
guys
could
wanna
have
know?
fought a Kraken?
Well, no. That's the
Oh.
thing.
would have been murdered by a Kraken is how.
All right, if you
went down.
here's the thing. This is fun for me. If you don't want to know, plug your ears for the next 15 seconds. That includes everybody on this call. But Kraken have 1 stat and many dice, and I'm going to tell you what it was and how many. Kraken have might. Only. This dice? 14.
Yikes.
Kraken have 14 dice. But you were nice. But you're nice to it. And you were nice to its mom.
Get to befriend the Kraken.
So a lot of things that I planned for just in case didn't come to pass. And we can talk about that in our debrief episode that we should definitely have, because there was a lot to this one and I loved it. So that was really fun for me, getting to look at those 14 dice just sitting there. But yeah, I love it. I love the power of love. I love this solution. It was incredible. And I'm very proud of all of you for thinking of it and implementing it. It was very good. Did not see it coming. Loved it. We will be back for the next episode of Thursday's Children 1 week from today. That's August 22nd, a Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, you can, if you're live with us on Twitch right now, check out our schedule below our faces on our drop page. If you are with us in the future, at some point, our schedule is pinned to our Twitter. It's pinned to our Discord. You can subscribe to our YouTube and catch up on all of the wonderful past episodes of all of our shows dating back several years at this point, which is fucking wild to think about. But yeah, we'll be back 1 week from today. Our next live stream is going to be on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have another episode of Tabletop Tuesdays. Check out our Twitter to see what those fine folks are going to be playing. It's kind of up in the air right now, but they're definitely going to be playing something. So look for the notification. Anything anybody wants to plug before we get out of here?
I'm hanging out on Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern on twitch.tv/InfiniteArtPlea. We're playing Flames of Freedom. We have a special guest this week, too. I'm very excited. So check it out.
Very exciting. And then after this, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, obviously you can join myself and LB Hack'em Up of twitch.tv/LB Hack'em Up, playing Dungeons and Dragons in a campaign called Playthings of the Gods. So come hang out with us later tonight. That is all for us today. So until next week, I'm so proud of all of you. Good game and good night, Internet.
Bye.